China's grocery market is the biggest in the world. It's expected to reach 11 trillion yuan or 1.8 trillion US dollars by 2025. That year, nearly half of China's grocery shopping is expected to take place online, up from 20% now. 70% of group buyers are women aged between 25 to 50. The pandemic has boosted group buying, with sales of vegetables, eggs and drinks in January doubling from what they were in December 2019. Community group buying allows residents to purchase items in bulk at big discounts. And with more than 500 million people living in third and fourth tier cities, venture capitals are looking to tap the potential. Tech giants such as Alibaba, JD.com and Didi poured hundreds of millions of dollars of investment into grocery e-commerce platforms last year. Now, for more on this growing market, we're joined by Shi Fanqi, Assistant Professor of Peking University's School of Economics. Thank you, Mr. Shi, for joining us. Now, is this trend of community group buying here to stay, or do you think it's just popular due to the coronavirus pandemic?
Thank you for the invitation. I think that the community group purchase program is mostly thriving because of the current pandemic. So in order to see this point, probably need to compare the benefits of a local physical retail grocery store with those of online purchases. For a physical mom and pop store, the consumers can enjoy the benefits of probably its high quality, because the consumers can pick and choose from the farm produce and offer. On the other hand, with express delivery, the consumer can enjoy the convenience and can probably have a wider variety of choice from different platforms. I would view that community group purchase as a combination of the two, but it enjoys none of the above benefits. One of the benefits that I can think of is what you mentioned, is that the discount. But I don't think that's enough to sustain the business in big cities. On the other hand, I think we will probably have a different story for small towns and counties. And as you mentioned just now, there are a lot of tech giants trying to venture into the business. I think that's a very good point, because for those cities, the local mom and pop stores are not enough to thrive, and the cost is probably too high for individual delivery. But with this, group community purchase is probably much more like those microfinance. So I think that's very good there.
So let's just expand on what you just said about tech giants. So there are now concerns about monopolies as tech giants are moving into the sector. So how can we ensure that these physical markets survive?
Well, for this point, there are 2 points that I want to make. First, I don't think we need to too much worry about the monopoly power for the group community purchase. The reason is that this market is probably more like a natural monopoly. That is, it's comparable to the electricity market. So if we look at the electricity market around the world, we see that there are a very limited number of suppliers. But if we introduce more suppliers, probably it's not a good thing, because the costs will be highly raised because of the high fixed cost. That being said, I think that probably the government can help with physical retail stores from 2 aspects. The first one is to provide direct subsidies, especially to those in small towns and counties. And as I just mentioned, those are where these farm produce are not easily reached. And another probably benefits is to build infrastructure. That is what the Chinese government is doing now, is to have more highways and railroads, so that we can have more convenient transportation around the country.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shi, for those insights.